Tonight at 6, the snow has finally showed up in southern Wisconsin. Dana Fulton is updating her first alert forecast with more chances for snow.
It is a humanitarian crisis like we rarely see in our country.
And President Trump proposes a new plan to end the longest government shutdown in history, but Democratic leaders say not so fast. And the Badgers have their mojo back, taking down one of the best teams in the country.
This is News 3 at 6.
Thanks for watching News 3 at 6. I'm Amanda Quintana. We got our first major snowstorm of the season last night, continuing into this morning. News 3 meteorologist Chris Reese has the details.
The first major winter storm of the season has moved out just about as fast as it moved in, but not before first dumping 7 to 8 inches in some of the areas that were hit the hardest. Throughout Friday night and early Saturday, crews dealt with snow-covered roads and several vehicle slide-offs. Officials say they are thankful that overnight accidents were kept at a minimum and that no injuries were reported. Now that the snow is over, attention has turned to plowing, shoveling, and overall digging out. Now, the other factor after the snowfall is the cold and the wind. In fact, wind chills as we head into Sunday morning could dip as much as 10 to 20 degrees below zero. In addition to that, forecasters are eyeing the possibility of another winter storm on Tuesday of next week. In the meantime, with the cold and the snow, if you have the right gear to bundle up, definitely take time to get outside. Places such as Elver Park behind me are adding even more snow so that you and your family can have plenty of winter fun. For WISC News 3, I'm meteorologist Chris Reese.
Thank you, Chris. Dana Fulton joins us now with your first alert forecast. I know Chris was very excited to see that snow.
I was just getting ready to say that. If you know anything about Chris Reese, he loves the snow. It was just living for what happened last night and everything that has come through for us. Yes, some of the hardest hit areas, 7 to 8 inches, almost 8 inches in New Glarus in the northeast corner of Dodgeville. Again, almost 8 inches picked up. And Madison, the official total was 6 inches. Now, here at the WISC station, we've picked up a little over 7 inches was our measurement here. So depending on which corner of town you may be in, your numbers may be just a little higher or a little lower. In Columbus, just under 4.5 and just over 4.5 in McFarland. So quite a snow event for us. And yes, we are talking about more snowfall coming through by the middle of the week. Looking at our high-resolution Doppler right now, we really do have a quiet evening for much of southern Wisconsin. We do still see some light snowfall, though, towards Milwaukee and right along the lake. They could see some light snow just for the next few hours. They still do have some winter storm watches in effect until midnight. It is 11 degrees right now in Madison, and it is cold outside. It doesn't even feel like 11, unfortunately. It feels a little closer to 0 for us right now. -2 is what it actually feels like. Our wind chill in Platteville and 3 degrees in Janesville. If you think that's cold, wait until we get into tomorrow morning. We do still have alert days in the forecast for tonight and for Sunday morning because our wind chills are going to drop so much for your Sunday. Plan on those temperatures to feel close to -10 to -20 to start off the day. And through the rest of the week, we're looking at a little bit of a chilly trend, especially for Sunday and Monday. But we'll take a closer look at what is ahead for the whole week and our next opportunity for some snowfall in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dana. President Trump offered a compromise to try to persuade House Democrats to come back to the negotiating table and fund the border wall. The partial government shutdown over border security is now in its 29th day. Nicole Killian has the latest from Washington.
President Trump announced a new proposal to extend temporary protection to 700,000 Dreamers and those with temporary protected status as a way to jumpstart negotiations on border security with Democrats.
This extension will give them access to work permits, Social Security numbers, and protection from deportation.
He's making the offer to try to end the 29-day-old partial government shutdown. In exchange, the president wants $5.7 billion to fund a wall on the southern border.
As a candidate for president, I promised I would fix this crisis, and I intend to keep that promise one way or the other.
Democrats have their own plan to add more money to spending bills up for votes on border security next week, but it does not include funding for a border wall.
I'm not for a wall. I'm not for a wall. I'm not for a
In a statement, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the president's proposal a compilation of several previously rejected initiatives, and taken together, they are a non-starter. Democrats are pressing the president to reopen the government before negotiations resume.
This is a shutdown that's the longest in history. It's the dumbest in history. And it may well be the most damaging in history.
Thousands of federal workers are caught in the middle of the border security fight. If a deal is not reached by early next week, they'll miss a second paycheck. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he will hold a vote on the president's, quote, bold plan next week. Thousands of women gathered in D.C. this morning for the 3rd annual Women's March on Washington. The event started off with a half-mile march past the Trump International Hotel and then a rally at Freedom Plaza this afternoon. Turnout was expected to be down this year compared to last year. Still, about 10,000 people showed up. Hundreds of supporters took to the Wisconsin Capitol for the state's Women's March. Their message tonight that women are tough and they are not going anywhere. Our Madeline O'Neill is live in studio with more. Hi, Maddie.
Hi, Amanda. Today's rally in Madison is one of several across the country, marking the 3rd annual march after the first in 2017 following President Donald Trump's inauguration. Along with celebrating historic wins for women in the midterm election, march organizers are working to bring about policy change.
It feels really good, even though it feels really cold.
It's certainly no heat wave.
It is freezing, but I think everybody being together is making it a very warm moment.
But outside Wisconsin's Capitol building, you'll find a women's wave.
There's certainly a huge change happening. That is exciting because we need it.
Rebecca Black braved the cold for the Women's March with her 5-year-old daughter, Olivia.
It's their future.
It's very empowering. Snow or no snow, this group drove from La Crosse and Milwaukee to show their stances on issues like the government shutdown and human rights.
I largely like to focus my attention on the Me Too movement and domestic violence, sexual prevention. It's nice to be surrounded by just a bunch of women who feel like-minded, and men, which is awesome to see a lot of guys out here too.
Though it's not quite the crowd Women's March Wisconsin organizers were hoping for.
With the winter storm, we knew that our turnout was going to be low.
Amy Dean says the hundreds they have speak loudly enough.
Instead of canceling, we said we're going to show up. We are not going anywhere, and that's going to be sending a clear message to our legislators.
Beyond that message, the group has a 77-page legislative agenda they're bringing to the Capitol, including focuses on expanding health care, improving the criminal justice system, and reforming immigration.
And we're ready to fight for everything on it.
It's a fight these women are showing up for.
We're tough. Women are tough, and we're in Wisconsin, and we're doing it.
And together things can change.
Heading in the right direction, but we still got a long way to go.
Women's March Wisconsin collected items for people in need because of the government shutdown at today's event. Food and supplies will be donated to the River Food Pantry in Madison and Program the Parks Milwaukee. Amanda.
Thank you, Maddie. Nonprofit Draft Day happened today at Edgewood College, giving local professionals a chance to connect. Nonprofits in need of board members had one-on-one time with a pool of applicants, then drafted the people they felt would be best to fill the positions. Organizers say Madison's thriving community offers these organizations a unique opportunity.
The opportunity to expand that network with an immense amount of talent that's also available in this community of people who are really civic-minded, community-minded, and ready to serve the organization and the community.
This is the second year that Edgewood College hosted an event for Nonprofit Draft Day. It was a party at the Kohl Center today, with Wisconsin pulling a major upset this afternoon. Despite an early start time of 11 a.m., the center was packed for the Badgers to beat the formerly undefeated Michigan Wolverines. The score was 64-54 coming into the game. Michigan had won 31 of their last 32 games. Melissa Kim will have more highlights from the game in about 20 minutes. A unique competition in Sun Prairie is showing off the soccer skills of people with disabilities. Wheelchair Power Soccer. Teams from Madison, Chicago, Minnesota, and Chippewa Valley competed in the Spin Kick Classic today. Players spanning a range of age and ability competed in games throughout the day. One athlete says playing power soccer has helped him overcome the assumption that people with disabilities can't be competitive.
I'm 31, right? And I didn't have a real way to express that competitive spirit until I found power soccer a year ago. People with physical disabilities are competitive too, and I think that we really lack a lot of outlets to express that, so I think that power soccer is a really good way to do that.
Representatives from Forward Madison Pro Soccer were also at that event today. Coming up, Consumer Reports takes a look at some of the dangers of using a treadmill. The number of people injured is surprisingly high. That story when we return. Welcome back. A home treadmill can be a great way to kick off your resolution to work out more in the new year, but it could cause injury. Roughly 22,000 people end up in the emergency room every year with injuries from treadmill accidents. Safety experts say there are some fairly simple but important precautions you can take if you've got a treadmill in your home.
In September of 2018, tragedy struck this Pennsylvania home when a 5-year-old boy died after being pulled underneath the treadmill by a moving belt.
People really don't understand how dangerous this moving belt can be.
Peter Anzalone, a safety expert at Consumer Reports, says you can take several steps to help prevent a treadmill tragedy in your house, starting with where you put it.
It's not a good idea to position the treadmill right up against the wall. If you fall and the treadmill belt continues to turn, you'll get wedged in between the wall and the treadmill. What you need to do is keep a couple of feet on either side of the treadmill and then at least 6 feet behind it. So if you do fall, there's a space for you to escape.
Never allow kids near a treadmill, even when you're on it. But the best protection is the safety key.
If this is not inserted in the machine, it just won't start. And if you don't want your kids to get hurt around a treadmill, take the safety key out and put it somewhere where they can't find it.
Other safety tips: straddle the belt until it starts so you don't get knocked off your feet. Keep your head up while you're moving. Looking down at your feet can actually throw you off balance. And always use the safety clip. It attaches to your workout clothes, and if you should fall, the string pulls out the safety key, stopping the moving belt. Finally, when you're finished, wait until the belt comes to a complete stop before stepping off. Keely Arthur, WISC News 3.
Good maintenance can be another key to safety. Keep the running belt aligned, the deck under the belt properly lubricated, tighten loose hardware, and wipe up any sweat, especially on the hand grips and controls. Do that every time you use it. Coming up, enjoying our little winter wonderland at Winterfest. We'll show you some of the celebrations welcoming the snow. Madisonians had reason to get out and enjoy the recent snowfall today. Hilldale's Winterfest featured family-friendly activities, ice sculptures, and in-store deals. People had the opportunity to try their hands at skee-ball and their feet at snowshoeing. Shoppers who preferred to enjoy the season from inside could also enjoy sales, sips, and sweets.
We were so excited. I wasn't totally sure how Winterfest was going to go without snow, and it was the perfect timing, and it just kept snowing and snowing and snowing, and it stopped, and now it's like Bluebird Day, 8 inches of snow. It's just gorgeous.
Of course, many of those outdoor games and activities would not have been possible without yesterday's snowfall. So organizers were very thankful. I'm sure a lot of those kids were very thankful they were able to make some snowmen today. Dana, I know a lot of people have been saying how happy they are to see the snow.
Yes, it was nice to get something in that didn't involve any ice for us. Things got cleaned up fairly quickly, it seems like. The roads, of course, were a little messy last night, but right now things seem to be okay. Now, we do still have a winter storm warning towards Milwaukee. They're still seeing a little lake effect snow, but throughout southern Wisconsin, as you just heard, overall today, really a bluebird sky. Right now, our Doppler track is calm. We are expecting a calm night as that system well to the south of Illinois and Indiana is going to bring a lot of moisture to the East Coast now into the New England area. We're just expecting a cold day for Sunday. And then our next weather event will be moving in for us late Monday and for Tuesday. Wind chills to start off your Sunday morning will be close to -13 in Madison. Anywhere from really -10 to -20 is what we're expecting again to start off Sunday. Monday starting off the exact same way in that -10 to -20 range. So a very chilly start to the day. Actual temperatures will be in the single digits for us, close to 0 for our overnight lows. So plan ahead. please bundle up for your early Sunday and early Monday morning plans. Overnight, we're planning on a mostly clear sky. Those temps drop close to zero for us in Madison, looking at about 1 for our overnight low. Even in the afternoon, we'll barely get into the low teens, a very chilly day ahead. For your Monday, we'll start the day with actual temps close to -2. In the afternoon, we'll watch our temperatures climb a little bit into the mid-teens for us. Clouds build in late in the day, and we start to watch our next opportunity for some snow come in late Monday and throughout the day on Tuesday. That snowfall expected to really impact more of Wisconsin rather than just the southern portion of the state. The snow reaching all the way up north. The center of that low track goes a little further north rather than along the southern side of Illinois, traveling into the center of the state. The freezing line, though, could be crossing right along the edge of southern Wisconsin, so that means we could see some freezing rain towards Platteville and Janesville for us. Again, that's looking ahead to Tuesday. So snowfall totals here, all of our models are actually kind of lining up. It's a nice trend for once. Another 5 inches possible for us with our GFS model, looking at a little over 5 inches with our Euro, and with the NAM, it's bringing just about under 4 inches. So anywhere from 3 to 5 is kind of our range right now, what we're looking at. Again, that's that snow event coming in late Monday and for Tuesday. Tonight, temps are going to drop close to 1. 12 degrees is what we're looking at our high for tomorrow. We do have an alert day in the forecast for your Sunday because of the cold start to the day. Overall, temperatures will stay pretty chilly for Monday. A little bit of a warm up there on Tuesday, just slightly, before we have another blast of cold air as we head towards the end of the week and next weekend.
There was a party at the Kohl Center this afternoon celebrating the takedown of number 2 Michigan. Highlights and postgame coming up next in sports.
Well, in Greg Gard's last presser before game day, he said 17 teams have come up on the short end against Michigan, so we'll have to see if we can be the first. Michigan coming to the Kohl Center as the #2 team in the country and having won 31 of their last 32 games. We pick it up in the second half. Aleem Ford from the top of the key for 3. Badgers take the lead. Later, Nate Reavers in some trouble there inside, but Ford is there with the help and one. Looks like Ford has got his groove back, by the way, after having surgery. Then check out Ethan Happ, the All-American working every single inch of that floor. The signature lefty hook shot to end it all. Badgers back in the lead. Happ doing some sharing today, too. He goes out to Kobe King for 3. Wisconsin up 48-44. Then put this one on your highlight reel, everyone. Dimitri Kreis going to Ethan Happ for the one-handed slam dunk. How often do we see Ethan Happ slam, really? Opening up the lead to 6 points. Happ really doing it all today. Under 15 seconds to go. Playing some defense here. Fast break up to Reavers. And check this out. Slam dunk. He is pumped up. The Badgers handing the Wolverines their first loss of the season. Storm the court, Madison. Now, Happ is probably on every single fan's Snapchat and Insta story today. He's Insta famous. So what was the difference for the Badgers today?
Consistency is the biggest thing. We've been good in spurts. We haven't been good long enough against good teams. And our league, as everybody knows, there's not any bad ones. But so you've got to be consistent for 60, 70, 75, 80, whatever number of possessions it is. And we were more consistent tonight than we've been over the last couple of weeks.
We've felt that way going into every Big Ten game. This is a big one and we have to get it. So, but in the hole that we've dug ourselves being 3-3 to start out, this was definitely a little more juice, and there's a little more juice in the stands today as well. And I know Brad's always pumping up the crowd and getting everyone into it. Nate does it sometimes too. So it's always nice when we get a full crowd and they can get behind us.
So Wisconsin upsets Michigan by 10 points. Ethan Happ with 26 points, 10 rebounds. It's the first win against a top 3 ranked Michigan squad since February 2013. Next up, the Badgers on the road at Illinois on Wednesday. They are now 12-6 overall. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, Indiana at Purdue. Hoosiers are 25 in the country. We got some fun hoops today. First half, Boilermakers up 3. Matt Harms, the dunk there, 31-26 Purdue. To the second now, Zach McRoberts, the alley-oop to Justin Smith, but the Hoosiers down double digits. The icing on the cake, though, for the Boilermakers, Carson Edwards feeding Harms again. This man, you guys, so good. Purdue upsets Indiana 64-49. How about another upset today? Okay, let's go to 7th-ranked Kansas at West Virginia. Second half, Jayhawks up 4. Marcus Garrett, 15 points in the game. Kansas up 64-58. Later, they're up by 3 until James Bolden to Derek Culver for the bucket. Now it's a 1-point game. Same score with 20 seconds to go. Jermaine Haley, the lay-in, and West Virginia takes the lead. Under 10 left. Last chance for Kansas. No dice. They're going to party in Morgantown as well. West Virginia upsets Kansas 65-64. So pretty good day for college basketball, especially Wisconsin.
Yeah. My gosh.
We like it that way.
Celebrating that, celebrating the snow, a lot of people.
A lot of people very excited about the snow. I don't know how many people are going to be excited about temperatures tomorrow morning. It's going to be very, very cold outside. We do have an alert day in the forecast for your Sunday. Temperatures will drop to about 1 degree for us for overnight low tonight with wind chills from -10 to -20. The same goes as we head into Monday morning. Overnight lows will be in the negative range, below 0 for us with the wind chills -10 to -20. Our next snow chance comes in late Monday for Tuesday, and notice the rest of the week also quite cold. So the cold air comes in and stays.
Bundle up. All right.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at 10.